What's good, guys? We got UFC Fight Night. Perez versus Taira. Right after Louisville. Louisville was sick. We had Louisville. We had Jared Cannonier versus Imavov. Early stoppage. But if you had Imavov by KO or by decision, it hit. But the over 4.5 should have hit. And it didn't. Andrea Lee by decision did not hit because she ended up losing. It was a pretty good fight, but Mantella de la Rosa was able to have better success on the feet, and she was able to take her down in the third round. Also, Raul Rosas Jr., he versus Ricky Tercios was amazing, bro. And Dominic Reyes finally got his win back. Underdogs won a lot. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Louisville was sick, man. Dominic Reyes winning in the first round it reminded me of when he finished Chris Weidman. He's back. Dominic Reyes is back. But Raul Rosas Jr. the line got so low in the middle of the second round to like minus 136, so I took it and I hammered it, and we got Raul Rosas Jr. at a minus 136 when he opened up at a minus 300 before the fight started. Ricky Tercios put up a good fight, did a fake glove touch, and then stuck the middle finger and said "F you." But it was a good fight. Louisville was sick. I just wish they didn't take that win from Cannonier because I wanted to see what was gonna happen. Cannonier was not finished. That was a fake TKO. Jason Herzog fucking sucks as a referee. That was his worst performance ever. He's never had a performance early stoppage like that ever in his career. And maybe the fall off for refs continue. We're going to break down this whole card, starting with the early prelims, ending with the main event. We're going to go over each and every single fight. We have a lot of prospects. Ikram Alaskarov is on this card. A lot of people, Lucas Almeida, Miles John, everybody's on this card. Asu Almabaev is on this card. We're going to start off with Shayilan Nuerdanbieke versus Melquizael Costa. Costa is a beast. He's the minus 180 favorite, plus 150 underdog for Nuerdanbieke. Nuerdanbieke 39-11-0 record, and his opponent Costa has a record of 20 wins, 7 losses, and 0 draws. When we look at Nuerdanbieke, they both fought Steve Garcia, right? And you can look at their performances against Steve Garcia. They both lost Steve Garcia, but if you look at who had a better performance against Steve Garcia, it was Nuerdanbieke. He dropped him in the first round, and he blew out his whole gas tank and then ended up gassing. But Costa, he got finished as well. Steve Garcia is good, man. No shame in getting finished by him. But you can't take into account how both fighters perform against one fighter and then just assume who you think is going to win. Costa has better wins. His UFC debut, he lost by submission to Thiago. It was short notice though, and then Austin Lingo, he had a great performance, which is in my opinion a better performance. This guy beat Sheen Soriano, he beat T.J. Brown and Derek Minner with elbows. I think Costa's a better fighter. I'm gonna go Melquizael Costa. I'm gonna take him by decision. I think he's gonna win this by decision. I know a lot of people have Nuerdanbieke. But I don't know. Nuerdanbieke's good. He's good. He's good underdog. He's from China. He's a good prospect. But I think Costa's gonna be bigger, and I think when he's in his flow state, he's a little bit more fundamental, and he's more sound, and he's able to keep the fight in the middle. So I'm going Costa. Give me Costa to win this fight by unanimous decision, 29-28, 29-28, and maybe split. Next fight we got Julia Polastri versus Josefine Knutsson. Guys, Josefine is pretty good. She's coming from Dana White Contender Series, and then she made her UFC debut, so this is her second fight in the UFC. And Julia Polastri, 12-3-0. Her opponent, Josefine, has a record of 7-0, undefeated. Julia is the underdog at plus 185, but she's won 4 out of her last 5. She lost 1 to Jasmine Javicius in Dana White's Contender Series by decision. And it's Sweden versus Brazil, 26 years old to 28, strawweight division, 5'2 to 5'3, 6'3, 6'0, 60-inch reach. The majority of Tapology is going Knutsson by decision because she's undefeated. Very good prospect, but has she faced as much adversity as, Julia, the Psycho? And I think she has. I think she looked pretty good on her Contender Series, and she can go full 15 minutes. It's just that she doesn't have any finishes, and Julia's a finisher. She's going to be trying to make the finish, and if somebody's going to finish this fight, it's Julia. But I think Josephine is going to be too much for her. I think she's better inside the distance, and I think she's better at going full 15 minutes when there's no finish involved, and I think she could take her down. I think she could take Julia down and grind on her for a full 15 minutes and win this 30-27 unanimous decision. But it's going to be a tricky fight because it's only her second fight in the UFC. And eventually she's going to face adversity, and she's going to face that person that is going to give her a tough fight. And a finisher from Brazil is probably one of them. But I got Josefine Knutsson by decision, 29-28, 30-27. Let's get it. Up the prelim, we got Jeka Saragih versus Westin Wilson. My nose is a little runny, but let's get it. Jeka Saragih versus Westin Wilson. Jeka has a record of 14-3-0. I'm very confident in Jeka. That's all I have to say. Like, very confident in Jeka. Jeka's a beast. 14-3-0 for Jeka. Westin Wilson 19-6-0. Westin Wilson has been KO'd in his last two fights to Gene Silva and Joanderson Brito. Joanderson Brito is good. So obviously it's expected, but if you're getting knocked out by these guys, you got to be careful because there could be a knockout coming with Jeka. Jeka is from Indonesia, minus 350 as a favorite, plus 270 for Westin Wilson. I think this is crazy. The other odds, I mean, she was a minus 225, so this is bigger. This guy's a bigger favorite, rightfully so. 29 years old to 35, featherweight division, 5'8" to 6'1", 69 inches to 73. Majority are going Saragih. I'm gonna go Saragih as well, and I think that he can. I think he can knock out Westin Wilson. I have knockout round 2 or 3 for Jeka Saragih, and I think he's better than Jeka. I mean, I think Jeka is better than Westin Wilson just because Westin Wilson, this is his debut. He lost, and then his second fight he lost. So he's coming off of a skid coming, and I think that if he loses this fight, he might get cut from the UFC. But this guy lost to Jubilee by KO. And we saw Jubilee lose too, but I think Jeka is overall better, and that finish against Lucas Alexander was very good because Lucas Alexander was a minus 500 into that fight, and a lot of people used him as a parlay piece, but that parlay got busted because Jeka Saragih got put on notice and put everybody on the map and said, I'm here. So Saragih by KO, second or third round. Let's get it. It's a KO Westin Wilson. Plus 270, I'm going to take the minus 340. Massive favorite, but you can go by KO. Side of the juice gets a little slimmer. Next fight, we got Carli Judice versus Gabriella Fernandes. Carli Judice with a record of 3-1-0. She lost her last fight by split decision to Ernesta and Dana White Contender Series, and now she's making her UFC debut. Gabriella Fernandes has been in the UFC for 2 fights already, but lost to Jasmine Javicius by decision and Teresa Bleda by decision unanimous. So, if she loses another one, she might get cut from the UFC, but she's a minus 230 favorite, plus 190 for Carli Judice. And we gotta keep in note that when we look at fighters like this with a record of 3-1-0, she looks like she has no experience at all. And she's the plus 190 underdog from Mississippi versus Brazil, 25 years old to 30, flyweight division 5'7" to 5'6", 68 to 66. She can take another loss. In my opinion, she could take one more loss in the UFC and she could still be in the UFC. But Gabriella Fernandes, if she loses one more, she's going to get cut from the UFC and she's no longer going to be in the UFC. I have Gabriella Fernandes to win this. I think she's going to be more desperate for this win. I think she's going to be more eager to win, and I think she's going to be more fundamentally sound with her body kicks. Her leg kicks are good, but I think her 1-2 is her best tool in the game. She has a record of 8-3-0. She's faced more adversity, and she's lost to these guys. It's flyweight, women's flyweight, so she's going to face adversity. And the first adversity that she faces, she loses both fights, so she's already been in that position. She's going to give a lot of adversity to Carli Judice, and I think Carli Judice is not good at all. I think Gabriella Fernandes is better, and she's just lost a better competition, so that's why she's on a losing streak. But Carli Judice, with that record, she has no experience, and I think Gabriella Fernandes is better all around, and I think she wins this by unanimous decision, 29-28, 30-27. It's going to be a good bathroom break. Garrett Armfield versus Brady Hiestand. Brady Hiestand 7-2-0, plus 140 for Hiestand, minus 170 for Garrett Armfield. 10-3-0 for Garrett Armfield. Garrett Armfield lost to David Onama. He's a beast, man. Garrett Armfield, he didn't tap. He literally didn't tap. Arm triangle. He's in an arm triangle. He's still fighting. He's fighting, and then he goes to sleep. Garrett Armfield is a beast, man, and if you want to put money on anybody, it's a guy like Garrett Armfield, bro. He's not gonna tap to shit. He's not gonna tap. He's not gonna do anything. He's not gonna be that fighter who just quits. And that's something that we saw we see sometimes time and time again in the past. Brady Hiestand is a beast. He has lost to Chad Ellinger and Ricky Tercios. And that's why a lot of people are trying to say that he's not as good because he lost to Ricky Tercios, who just lost to Raul Rosas Jr. And that was 2 years and 9 months ago, though, so you have to give him credit. He beat Fernie Garcia, and then he beat Batgarel Dana by KO. But I think Garrett Armfield is better. His wins are better. His resume, David Onama, I know he lost that. Kazama by KO, and then Brad Katona by decision, who Brad Katona just wrestle fucked the shit out of Jesse Butler. He just wrestle fucked Jesse Butler hard. So Garrett Armfield's looking really good right now in the bantamweight division. Minus 170 for Garrett Armfield, plus 140 for the other side. 27 to 25 bantamweight division, 5'6" to 5'8", 70 to 71 inch reach. Guys, give me Garrett Armfield to win this fight by unanimous decision. 30-27, 29-28, 30-27. I think Garrett Armfield is better overall. He can put in he can be put in very difficult situations and positions and get put in different like weird submissions and stuff and still try to fight it off. I know he got submitted by David Onama, but David Onama has been in wars. He's always a guy who is not a tin can. You can't look at David Onama and say that he's trash or say that. I mean, you can't say that he's not elite in the UFC. So I think Garrett Armfield is a beast, and I think Brad Katona is one of his best wins. And the fact that he's coming off of that from 4 months ago, I think he could definitely win this again. And I think he could win this. And I think he could beat Brady Hiestand, but I don't think he knocks him out or finishes him. I think he wins by decision, and I think he mauls him. I think he overwhelms him with his power, and he can grapple if he needs to as well. Majority of Tapology has Garrett Armfield by decision. I like Garrett Armfield. If I'm making a parlay, I'm going Jeka, Garrett Armfield, and maybe this fight goes the distance. Julia Polastri. So those are my three. But for the rest, I'm not betting on the Carli, and I'm not betting on the first fight as well, Costa, because they are two low confident picks for me. Next fight we have Nate Mans versus Jimmy Flick. Jimmy Flick has been in the UFC for a long time. 3 years and 9 months ago, Dana White Contender Series, he won by submission, arm triangle, beat Cody Dern, flying triangle choke, lost to Charles Johnson, lost to Alejandro Costa, and then beat Malcolm Gordon. Nate Mans has a way better record overall, has faced tougher competition, and he's lost 2 out of his last 5, but to who? To Umar Nurmagomedov by decision, and to Tagir Ulanbekov, who's also fighting on this card. This card is stacked. Matus Mendoza by KO he beat. And I think just his resume alone, 15-3-0. Look at who he's fought. Umar Nurmagomedov and Tagir Ulanbekov. You guys gave him 2 Dagestani right back-to-back. Give me Nate Mans to beat Jimmy Flick all around and to overwhelm him. Minus 400 heavy favorite. Plus 310 for Jimmy Flick. United States versus United States, Kentucky versus Oklahoma, 32 years old, 33, flyweight division, 5'10 to 5'7, 72 to 72 to 68 inch reach. Nate Mans is going to have the longer reach, not by much, but it does make a difference. It's by actually 4 inches. Nate Mans is better overall when he has to deal with people who can finish you like Umar Nurmagomedov, who is a prospect in this division, who's fighting Corey Sandhagen, the Sandman. Guys, Nate Mans is a guy who you do not want to mess with. You do not want to pick against this guy, and especially if it's a guy like Jimmy Flick, you do not want to bet on a guy like Jimmy Flick. Give me Nate Mans to win this, and I think he can finish this inside the distance. All of his wins have come inside the distance, and if a guy like Nate Mans is versus a guy like Jimmy Flick, who's a veteran in the UFC, give me Nate Mans to finish him inside the distance by KO. Round 2. I'm going to go KO round 2. Most of Tapology has Nate Mans to win by KO. Some by decision, 17% by decision, and 11% of Tapology is picking Jimmy Flick. I got Nate Mans to win this by decision. I mean, not by decision, by a second round KO. But if he doesn't KO him in the second round, he also can win this by decision. He's not a guy who's going to blow out his gas tank and make stupid mistakes and lose to a guy like Jimmy Flick. One of my most confident picks, Nate Mans. Let's go up the card. Tagir Ulanbekov versus Joshua Van. This fight is a rescheduled bout. Joshua Van was supposed to fight Tatsura Taira, and Tagir Ulanbekov was supposed to fight, let me just make sure who he was supposed to fight. He was supposed to fight somebody else, so basically they just switched his fights up. Okay. Yeah, he was supposed to fight somebody else, but it's a rescheduled bout. So now they're fighting each other. Joshua Van versus Tagir Ulanbekov, and I think Joshua Van and Tatsura Taira might meet. I think they might meet like later down in their careers, because Joshua Van is a beast. He's very good at boxing. Has a record of 10-1-0. Tagir Ulanbekov has a record of 15-2-0. His one loss in his last 5 is by Tim Elliott, but Tim Elliott was cheating. Excuse me. Tim Elliott was cheating by a lot. He was being dirty. He was grabbing the fence, grabbing the glove, grabbing the inside of the glove. He was doing all of that, grabbing the inside of the glove, cheating. Minus 225 favorite for Tagir Ulanbekov. Joshua Van plus 180. If you like Joshua Van and if you like a good dog, guys, keep an eye out on Joshua Van, because a guy who's a great boxer, fundamentally sound, has great takedown defense, can stand right back up, great scrambles, is a guy like Joshua Van. One of my most anticipated fights on this card is this one. Russia versus Myanmar. Texas versus Russia. 32 years old, 22. Look at how young Joshua Van is. He's 22 years old, bro. Bro, that's 2 years older than me, bro. Like, holy shoot, bro. You're in the UFC at 22 years old, looking like a prospect in the flyweight division versus a Dagestani who's going to probably give you a fucking run for your money, bro. This is going to be insane. 32 years old to 22. I still think Joshua Van has a great chance, and I think he can definitely capitalize off of a little bit of Tagir Ulanbekov's takedown attempts. You know, I'm not saying that they're lazy or anything like that, but I'm just saying that a guy like Tim Elliott was, able to glove touch, cheat a little bit, grab the fence, put up a good fight, and show Tagir. Obviously, Tagir is the better fighter, and maybe we can say that Tagir beats Tim Elliott, but Tim Elliott showed that if you want to beat this guy, you got to keep it up. You got to keep it up. You got to keep up. You got to keep pushing up. You got to get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. And a guy like Joshua Van is not gonna be eager to be laying down on his back. This is gonna be a fun fight. I like Tagir Ulanbekov, 70-inch reach, 65-inch reach for Joshua Van, 5'5" to 5'7", flyweight division, almost identical. Majority of Tapology has Joshua Van to win this fight. This is gonna be crazy, bro. This is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be a crazy fight. Some people have Joshua Van by KO too, bro. Okay, early prediction. Early predictions. These are my early predictions. Then Friday we give the last minute predictions. I'm going Tagir Ulanbekov. I know Joshua Van is a beast, bro. I know he's really good. He's one of the best. Like, bro, he made a name for himself just from his recent last fight, like his recent fights. Zalgos Zumagulov, Kevin Borjas, and Felipe Bunes, bro. This guy is a beast, bro. Like, just his first few fights in the UFC has been way more has had way more eyes on it than Tagir Ulanbekov. But I think Tagir Ulanbekov is more experienced, and I think he can grapple Joshua Van and hold him down. I think Joshua Van can get right back up, but Tagir Ulanbekov makes things work. And a guy like this, who just coming off of rear naked choke to Cardi Dornan and Nate Mans, I think it's going to be a good fight, and I think Tagir Ulanbekov wins this, but I don't think he finishes him. I think he wins by decision, and I think it's going to be controversial. I think it's going to be like, it's going to be split, bro. I think it's going to be like some Isaac Dalgurian stuff, like where Tagir kind of gasses and Joshua Van probably wins the third round like almost 10-8. But I think he could win the first two. So give me Tagir Ulanbekov to win that by decision, 29-28, 29-28, and maybe even split. Adam Fugitt versus Josh Quinlan. Josh Quinlan is a beast. He lost his last two, though, as I say that, to Trey Waters and Danny Barlow. He beat Jason Witt. Had a no contest in Dana White Contender Series, Logan Urban, and then Dallas Jennings. He beat an LFA. Adam Fugitt, he's not as good. He's not that good. I mean, who am I to say? I just called Josh Quinlan a beast. Michael Morales by KO, he lost, and then Mike Malott. And if you're losing to Mike Malott, bro, you suck. I'm not even joking, bro. If you lose to Mike Malott, you suck. That guy sucks. He lost to Neil Magny. He was beating Neil Magny, and then he lost. Soy Canadian, typical soy Canadian. Adam Fugitt with a record of 9-4-0. Did I go over the odds? I didn't go over the odds for the last fight. Sorry about that. I didn't go over the odds. I just want to go over it real quick. They don't have him, but plus 180 to minus 225. Give me the minus 225. Right here, Adam Fugitt is a minus. I just saw it. Minus 110 to minus 110 near even odds. Sometimes I forget to go over the odds because I'm so excited to break down the fights. Adam Fugitt, very questionable Very questionable to where he is in the UFC. 35 years old to 31. Nevada versus Oregon. 170, 70 welterweight division. 6'1 to 6'0. 70, 73 to 72. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm picking Adam Fugitt, and I'm picking Adam Fugitt to beat Josh Quinlan. Just because Josh Quinlan is not that good, and I know Adam Fugitt lost to Mike Malott, but Mike Malott is better than any of these guys that this guy Josh has lost to, and MMA math doesn't always work. But if we're looking at the majority of topology, they're going Quinlan by KO. Oh my god. Bro, I'm going Adam Fugitt, and I'm going by decision. I think he's better than Josh Quinlan. I don't think Josh Quinlan's gonna KO him, bro. He KO'd Jason Witt, but I don't know, bro. I don't see this. I think Adam Fugitt might lose this fight, and I wouldn't be surprised if he loses. But this is such a shit fight. This is such a shit fight, bro. I'm not even joking, bro. Give me Adam Fugitt by decision. This is gonna go distance. I don't think this is what I was gonna say. I don't think Josh Quinlan he can win this fight, but I don't think he's gonna knock out Adam Fugitt. Even though it's possible, Adam Fugitt has been KO'd and he's been submitted, so he's been finished before inside the distance. If you want to go under 2.5 or this fight does not go the distance, you can. I think this goes distance though, and I think Adam Fugitt wins this by unanimous decision, and I think he beats him 30-27, 29-28, 29-28. I think Josh Quinlan just starts off pretty good, but if he can't finish you, he's not winning that fight. Next fight, Almabaev versus Jose Johnson. Almabaev is a prospect, guys. Get your parlay pieces right now, bro, because if you want a parlay piece of a lock of the week, it's Almabaev. This guy's a beast. He's a minus 420 from Kazakhstan. And who am I to say this guy's lock of the week at a minus 420? Like, I'm just picking easy locks. Plus 320 for Jose Johnson. Almabaev would have, bro, 19-2-0. He's won his last 5. Zach, Ode Osborne submission. CJ Vera decision. Very impressive performance against CJ Vera. Jose Johnson lost one of his last 5 to Damon Blackshear. In a twister, he got submitted in a twister, which is very hard to do. But Blackshear was able to pull it off. He's making his third fight in the UFC other than Dana White Contender Series. He beat Jack Cartwright by decision to make his UFC debut, lost his UFC debut, and then beat Chad Ellenher. And now he's going up against a prospect from Kazakhstan, guys. 65-inch reach, 5'4", flyweight division, 6'0", 71. I don't know if this is at flyweight. I'm not sure if this is going to be at flyweight or if this is going to be at bantamweight. I can check. I'm assuming this is going to be at flyweight, though. Let me just check really quick. Yeah, this is going to be at flyweight. This fight's going to be at flyweight. So Jose Johnson's actually coming down in weight. And I think Almabaev is going to win this by decision. And I think he could definitely put the pace on him and go full 15 minutes. And he's not going to gas. I think Almabaev is better overall than Jose Johnson. Jose Johnson lost by submission. And some people are going to say that it's open for Almabaev. But Asu is more of a heavy grappler who is just going to grind you out and get you tired overall. He doesn't really have a lot of finishes on his record. Submission, one submission, another submission, and then decision. So 3 out of his last 5 have gone decision. 1 has even gone split, and then he's finished 2 out of his opponents. Ode Osborne and Knief. I think Almabaev is going to win this by unanimous decision, 30-27, and he's going to completely shut out Jose Johnson's game, and he's going to completely be better overall, and Jose Johnson's going to look terrible. He's going to look terrible, but only because of how good Almabaev is. Miles John versus De Silva de Andrade. Guys, Miles Johns is a beast, but he had no contest against Dan Arguera. And then he lost to John Castaneda, who John Castaneda just fought Daniel Marcos yesterday to be exact. And we know John Castaneda, Sexy Mexi, is a beast, man. Miles John got tired against John Castaneda, and John Castaneda put up a great performance against Daniel Marcos Moreno. Daniel Marcos completely whooped him. But what I'm saying is that a guy like Sexy Mexi, John Castaneda, was able to get Miles John tired because he's that good. You look at John Castaneda versus Daniel Marcos, he put up a fight. He was there all 15 minutes, and he even had Daniel Marcos wobbled a little bit at the end of the round, at the end of the 3rd round with a high kick. So the fact that Miles John was able to, he got submitted, but rightfully so, bro. You're going up against the best. You're in the best organization, going up against the best fighters in the UFC. Douglas Silva de Andrade is the favorite at -115, -105 for Miles John. When I look at this fight, I break down the records: 14-2-0 for Miles John, and then 29-5-0 for De Silva Andrade. -115 for. I can't believe he's the favorite. I mean, because of his power, but he's 38 years old to 30. Bantamweight division, 5'7" to 5'7", 66-inch reach to 68. I think Miles John is going to win this. I think he's a better grappler. I think he's not going to get tired. He already learned against John Castaneda that he gassed a little bit. He knows how to control the pace, and a guy like De Silva Andrade is not going to put the pace on you. He's going to be a counterpuncher waiting to look for the counter shot. A lot of people, majority of Tapology, 53% of Tapology is going by decision. This fight definitely goes the distance. I don't think De Silva Andrade finds the knockout. I think Miles Johnson is going to win this by decision, and I think he's going to be able to... Excuse me. I think he's going to be able to grapple him, completely hold him down, take him down for at least one round. Maybe he loses the second round, but then he's back in the third round and wins the first and the third round and wins this by 29-28, unanimous decision, and beats him. I think Miles Johnson is better than Douglas Silva de Andrade, and at one point maybe you can think that he's on TRT, but we got to start looking at the age, especially in a weight class like bantamweight division. He lost to Said Nurmagomedov, really good, and then Lerone Murphy. But that was at featherweight. So now he's coming down at... Is this going to be at featherweight? Yeah, this... I'm not sure if this is going to be a... I think this is going to be a bantamweight. He's coming down to bantamweight, yeah. So, putting in all those factors together, Miles Johnson is the better wrestler. He can take this down. And I don't know how he's going to do in the striking department. But if he needs to, he could set up his striking with his takedowns. So give me Miles Johns, Chapo, to beat De Silva de Andrade by unanimous decision, 29-28. And I'm not just saying that for every single fight. Next fight, Lucas Almeida versus Timmy Kumba. Timmy Kumba with a record of 8-2-0, -180 favorite, +150 for Lucas Almeida. Lucas Almeida has lost to Andre Fili and Pat Sabatini. He beat Michael Treziano and Italiano Trinade. He lost to Daniel Zuliber in Dana White Contender Series, who he made his UFC debut. After that, Daniel's a beast. Timmy Kumba has lost one of his last 5 to Bula Oki, and we know that guy is a beast. We look at this guy's record, 8-2-0 compared to 14-3-0. +150, -180. Brazil, United States, 33 years old, 25. Featherweight, lightweight, 5'11", 5'9", 71-inch reach, 271. His gym is not noticed. When we look at this fight, guys, Timmy Kumba he's very good in my opinion. I think he's very, very good. It's just that he's fairly new to the UFC. He had a fight in Contender Series, didn't get a contract, fought here, got a KO, and then made his UFC debut against a guy who is considered a prospect in my opinion. Majority of Tapology, I can already see it, has Kumba by decision. I think this fight definitely goes over 1.5. Over 2.5 is what I'm going to be looking for, though, because I want more juice. And I think Lucas Almeida is on his way out in the UFC, man. If you're getting knocked out by Andre Fili, you got to ask yourself what you're doing. I know Andre Fili's pretty good, but he just got knocked out by Dan Ige. Timmy Kumba, in my opinion, will put up a better fight against Andre Fili. He put up a great fight in his last fight. And he has an overall better record. He's faced tougher competition, has last throughout his competition that he's faced. He doesn't get finished. He's gotten finished by Pat Sabatini, who Diego Lopez just ran through in the featherweight division. Guys, give me Timothy Kumba to win this by decision. And I hate to keep on saying decision, but it's either going to be 29-28, 30-27, or 29-28 on all judges' scorecards. Timmy Kumba probably only loses one round, and he beats him unanimously after being the fundamentally better boxer, having better leg kicks, and having better teeps. You know, he doesn't really throw his teeps, but I think he could definitely capitalize on his teeps on Lucas Almeida. And he could take this down. He could take him down at any point if he wants, and he could definitely take down Lucas Almeida. So give me Timothy Kumba to win this fight. Let's get it. Co-main event, Ikram Alascaro versus Antonio Tricoli. Antonio Tricoli is stepping in on very, 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 very short notice, guys. He's stepping in on almost 2 weeks' notice. Ikram Alaskarov, everybody's scared to fight this guy. Record of 15-1-0, minus 900. Guys, just put him as a parlay piece. Just blindly tail him. Just put a bunch of parlays. Ikram Alaskarov, Almabaev, Tagir Ulanbekov. Put them all in a parlay. Put them all in a long shot parlay. And let's do this. Put them all. This is the Dagestani parlay. The Dagestani parlay. Ikram Alaskarov, Antonio Chikoli with a record of 12-3-0. He made his performance on Dana White Contender Series his debut in Contender, and then his UFC debut. Oh no! Since he's stepping in on short notice, this is gonna be his UFC debut. And we know with fighters, they only win at a 30% clip. And who's he going up against? UFC fighters during their debut only win at a 30% clip. And obviously, it's not the same percentage for everybody, but it's on average. So when we look at who he's fighting, Ikram Alaskarov, who recently just beat Walray Alves, who was the only guy to submit Colby Covington, beat him by KO, beat Phil Hawes by KO, who's no longer in the UFC, but he knocked his ass out, beat Mario Sosa by submission Contender Series. Guys, this guy has made a name. All 3 of his fights in the UFC have been inside the distance. He comes from Eagle FC. And he's a prospect, guys. He's a very good prospect from Russia. 31 years old. He's trained with Khabib, I believe, before in the past. Middleweight division, 33 years old. Plus 600. Bro. Plus 600 for Chikoli. 76 reach is the only thing. He has a shorter reach. But he's way better in the boxing. Bro, he can wrestle. He can wrestle if he wants. But I think his boxing is so fundamentally sound and so crisp. The way he knocked out Phil Hawes off the exit, I think a guy like Ikram Alaskarov is just going to run through this guy, bro. I think he's going to knock him out inside the distance, second or third round. And it's not just me just favoring the minus 900 and just me jumping on the bandwagon like we did with Robelas in Spain. It's me actually believing in this Dagestani power and believing that this Dagestani is going to be a prospect in the middleweight division and he's going to hit the top 10. I think he's eventually going to hit the top 15 of the middleweight division. And if it's not right now, he's number 17. It's after he wins this fight. So give me Ikram Alaskarov to win this by unanimous decision. No. Whoa. What the fuck am I saying? Give me Ikram Alaskarov to win this by KO, second or third round. Guys, this is going to be a fucking fun fight. 1% of Tapology is picking fucking Antonio Chikoli. Holy shoot. This will be a big upset if Ikram Alaskarov loses. Majority of Tapology is picking him by KO. Give me him by KO round 2 or 3. Holy shoot, I've never seen 1% of Tapology pick one person. That's the lowest I've ever seen. Main event, Alex Perez versus Tatsura Taira. Guys, Alex Perez has come off a win against Matheus Nicolau after losing to Davison Figueiredo. His first ever title shot. Alexander Pantoja, no shame in that, rear naked choke. The flyweight champ right now. And then Muhammad Mokaev, he put up a great performance against Muhammad Mokaev, who's now fighting Manel Kape. And everybody's going to say, because you see all these reds, people are going to be like, oh, let me just go with the favorite. But you have to look at his last win because you're just as good. A fighter is only as good as his last win. Matheus Nicolau, clean KO, right hook, just like the Alex Volkanovski versus Topuria. Bro, had him against the cage, knocked him out. Matheus Baby Chin Nicolau went to sleep. Matheus Nicolau will never hold the belt, bro. That guy's chin is gone. Gone, bro. You can blow him a kiss on the cheek and he'll go to sleep, bro. Like, holy shoot. But that doesn't mean that Alex Perez wasn't going to win either way. Alex Perez is a beast. He put up a great performance against Muhammad Mokaev. I thought he was even going to win that fight because Muhammad Mokaev was just shooting. And he was like this, shooting, and then he was at the crotch, sniffing the crotch like this, just trying to get into a position, playing that don't knee me because I have my hands on the ground, don't knee me, let me just sniff your crotch. That's Muhammad Mokaev. I'm just kidding. That's Muhammad Mokaev though. Alex Perez is a beast, man, and if he's gonna put up again, if he's gonna test somebody, it's the prospect of the flyweight division who comes from Japan, who's a minus 200 favorite against him, Alex Perez, who has been in the UFC for a long time, who's a veteran who has faced the best of the best. Fuck, it's getting out of focus. Sorry about that, guys. My face is actually getting out of focus now. He's faced the best of the best. He's faced the best of the best. And if he wins this fight, it wouldn't be surprising. Because Tatsura Taira has not faced a guy like him. He's not faced a guy who has this is his first big jump up in competition is what I'm trying to say. His closest fight to Alex Perez is Carlos Fernandes, who beat a couple of not a couple of prospects, but a couple of guys in the flyweight division. He beat some guy where he slammed him and he kept on elbowing him. So Carlos Fernandes is really good, and for him to get knocked out by Tatsura Taira means that whoa, this guy is pretty good. This guy since the UFC, Carlos by decision, CJ Vera submission, who we saw he gets submitted a lot, Jesus Aguilar submission, Edgar Chaira's decision, and then Carlos Hernandez. And a lot of people take this fight, Edgar Chairez, and be like, oh, he didn't look that good. I think he looked phenomenal for 24 years old in all 5 of his fights. 15-0. He's undefeated. A guy like Alex Perez is really going to test him. And I think this goes past the second round. I don't think this fight ends under 2 rounds. Maybe in the third, maybe something happens, because that's when Alex Perez got his KO against Matheus Nicolau, I believe. It was in the 3rd round. I'm not sure. Let me just double check on that. Let me double check. Oh, it was round 2. Never mind, it was round 2. Okay, so somewhere around there, somebody might, start to, work themselves and get their finish. It felt like it was the 3rd round, though, because of, I guess, or maybe how early it was in the 2nd round. Yeah. But what I'm going to say is Tatsura Taira is a grappling beast. All of his losses, Alex Perez has lost by submission, right? And Tatsura Taira is very good at submissions. He's really good at holding you down. He's really good at keeping you down. But I think Tatsura Taira can KO Alex Perez. And I know there's going to be like a casual moment maybe for some of you guys. Like maybe hearing this from me, you might think I'm a casual. But Alex Perez has shown that when you start off fast or when you try to bully him in the 1st round, sometimes he's successful. Davison Figueiredo, 1st round. Alexander Pantoja, 1st round submission. I'm not saying that he's going to just give in first 2 rounds. I'm just saying that if you pressure him in the 1st round, he's going to fight the same way you fight. So he's never, he doesn't really blow his gas tank. But what I'm saying is that he leaves openings as the rounds go on. He's not like Max Holloway who gets better as the fight goes on. And you can maybe argue that because he had a good performance against Muhammad Mokaev in the 3rd round. And then he looked good against Matheus Nicolau. But when Alex Perez wins, it's by finish, in my opinion. And I don't think he's going to finish Tatsura Taira. And I think Tatsura Taira has more of a capability and more of a finishing potential to finish Alex Perez than Alex Perez has to finish him. Tatsura Taira is going to be longer. He's going to be taller. He's going to have a way longer reach by 5 inches. And I think he can fundamentally keep Alex Perez off at bay with the striking. And I know Alex Perez has very good striking too. The way he was able to get Matheus Nicolau on the cage and then overwhelm him. Right hook, knock him out, just like Topuria did. But I think Tatsura Taira is overall better. And I'm going to go Tatsura Taira by knockout. And I think he knocks him out after the 3rd round. It's going to be a very good fight. I think may the best man win, but it would be so amazing if we could see Alex Perez and Tatsura Taira go 5-round full war, so that we could see where Tatsura Taira really stands. I don't want Tatsura Taira to finish Alex Perez right away because it just doesn't let us know how he looks in the 5 rounds. I want to see how he looks in the 4th and the 5th. What if this guy gets tired? What if this guy has a gas tank that only lasts 15 minutes? You know what I'm saying? Very interesting fights, guys. After this, we got very interesting fights. Hamza Chimaev versus Whitaker. We have Conor McGregor fighting, guys. Give me Tatsura Taira by knockout inside the distance. 4th or 5th round. No, 3rd, 4th, or 5th round. Knockout. To knock out Alex Perez, guys. Drop a like on the video, guys. Let me know who you guys got in the video. Let me know your most anticipated fight. Tagir Ulanbekov versus Joshua Van is mine. And let me know who you guys got, guys. Drop a like, guys. See you guys in the next one. I love you guys. Thank you for all the support that you guys have been giving me, guys. Majority Tapology is going 78% of Taira. Give me a money line. Give me Tatsura Taira by money line, though. Minus 200. I'll take that. And I'll see you guys in the next one, guys. Like the fucking video. Let's get it. 2K on the way. Peace.